Education, the other pillar of the Japanese plan for development. Public schools were unknown in the islands before the Japanese arrived. Prior to this, the only schools, with the exception of one on Saipan during German times, were mission-run. Each morning, children from the age of 8 attended class in one of the kogako, the public schools located on every major island in Micronesia. There were 24 of these schools in all.
I went to Japanese school. I'm learning to speak Japanese. I read the very simple, they call katakana.
Reading and math, science.
The math and the language we are taking.
And some of the Japanese histories and drawing.
Kota in Saipan, in Saipan, me got me pit Saipan.
Students were also instructed in basic vocational skills.
Niya awan, tatok liki, nan matulab.
We have garden, we're doing farming. We're planting carnation flowers, very nice.
And the girls, I remember my oldest sister learned how to sew.
And you can learning how to draw or carving. The most of the boys. After carnation is flower, we have to carry it and we bundle and we have to go again to all the Japanese housing wife to selling 10 cents a piece with Japanese money.
And then, you know, this, the moral teaching was very strict, you know, to love one another or, you know, respect for elderly.
Second dimension ka par kopen na dimension ka second. Dokaan Saipan ta taiso exercise dimension ko.
Taiso every morning. Different kind of exercise from first, second, third, fourth. There's already the rules, what kind of exercise. After the Taiso, we greet the emperor.
At yung pataw ka ruwa kit pau ne la yawasa Saipan ni kit sopela. Tung sigul ko Rusian. Takin ruwa siya. Cycle chorus kiti. Nek sa akin pitulungan ang class ko.
Meanwhile, for Japanese children, there was a parallel school system. The Shogako, schools for Japanese, offered a longer and more advanced education.
Me utan local in Pompeii or utan Japanese citizen there, competition. So the school to attend to.
In all the schools, discipline was strict.
The policy was to produce a good student or good citizen of Japan. So everything was taught, but very disciplined way.
The discipline was very strict in the classroom because the learning process that the Japanese were using was the rote memory thing. If you're not paying attention, you've missed something and you don't learn, you don't memorize.
You do something wrong, bagero, always warukuchi, bagero, kisama, coñero.
Kamakam, ayo reporia, ayo repokia. So to usang, ay no papa pumpi.
If you did something wrong, you went in front of the class and held the chair up high.
Seperti aku bagi yang minus kaikan kasihkan kol pil pisinin pil pagkatar pura uyatam misut.
Ngarapay bakal bujeri na inapit. Perenju takan cipe juan raga empa. Human nga ba chongo la rongol minute.
And they put us sometime outside the yard and put your hand up like that, kneel underground, on the ground for like 1 hour. Very, very strict.
But according to my father, the results were favorable because they did learn, a great deal.
In American school, you spend 12 years learning English. And after 12 years, you still don't speak English well. In Japanese school, after 3 years, we speak fluent Japanese.
The Japanese schools offered 3 years of basic education for all who lived within walking distance of one of the schools. For the better students, 2 years of additional education were offered in special schools located in the towns.
Palauan youngsters went to a three-year basic curriculum. And then the best students went on to a supplementary program of 2 years. And those students had to come into to Koror.
Those attending the supplementary schools had the opportunity to hone their Japanese language skills.
In that second year, almost every student was farmed out to a Japanese family to be a tea boy or to be a domestic helper or to run errands. And so that's where they polished their language.
At the very pinnacle of the education system was a carpentry school in Koror.
Students who were really motivated and able went on to the carpentry school. People like David Ramrui, Wilhelm Rangel, George Ngarasol attended.
A handful of islanders, chosen from everywhere in the mandate, attended this school. There they learned drafting, basic architecture, and the building trade. Its vocational arts program was a rough equivalent of a college education in those days.